Well, hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is afar, hoping that you all are doing well. In this video, I'm playing a game called Tiny Bunny, the Prologue. We have version 1.2.26 or 25, I'm not quite sure. It's made by developer Psychono. I hope I'm not butchering the name. Game was released on March 2020, and this is the first game playing here in the channel made by this developer. The game can be found on both Steam and itch.io, and the game was published as per the Steam page by the developer Psychono. For game description on Steam or itch.io, which you can skip it if you feel like discovering the game. The story takes place in a quiet, unremarkable village, lost among the Siberian forest. The protagonist, Anton, had recently moved there with his family and was almost immediately forced to witness and participate in a chain of unsettling events. It's a place where children go missing. The police are powerless. Search teams are combining out the forests, but they find no traces. Why then is Anton repeatedly coming across prints, bloodstains, and scraps of clothing? It almost feels like someone is putting up a show just for him. He is haunted by nightmares at first, which grow more and more frightening and bloody every night. They also grow increasingly real and beckoning. Alright. Organic music in this game, it was made by composers Vladimir Bulav, Icon, Nikita Kryakov, and Nikita Lagunov. I'm very sorry if I misspelled the names. And for restrictions, there's no rating for this game I can find on Usurpy and Piggy, so I'll give my expected rating as a horror game, so it'll be M for mature, 70 plus, 16 plus, including my quoted word matches seen on screen. That being said, I'm gonna check the settings. Alright. Credits. Based on a Tiny Bunny short horror story from Dmitry Mordas. Okay, El Metallico. I didn't mention their name. Included as the They are the composer along with the rest. Yeah, okay. Let's get started. New game. What am I looking at? The wind clawed at my window all night long. It wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. Yeah, pressing space or maybe left mouse click to move on from one subtitle to another. An endless song, weaved from all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, sneery, twined in the air, and they are shouting and laughing, and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows that would occasionally creep close to my bed. Our house had a mind of its own. The creaky the creaky old mind of a building that had seen a lot in its days and was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark green thicket gazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, whistling, swaying back and forth. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves. There was nobody behind the crooked trees. Fuzzy silhouettes swaying in the wind. Nothing showed up. Fuzzy silhouettes swaying in the wind couldn't possibly do any harm. It's just a play of light and shadow. Just a play. I know it was just my imagination. I was already 12 after all. Still, we can see the eyes of a fox. I imagine my grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of her bed where Olia sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice. Grandma, Tega is a special place, little girl. It's watching you closely, sniffing you out, trying to discern what kind of beast you are. If you are a good sort, it won't abandon you in times of trouble. But if you are a bad apple, it would grab you by the side and drag you under the ground. And that would be it. Grandma was scary. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. Those were the times without the maddening screams until late at night, without smashed dishes and mutual accusations. But our parents used to love each other back then. Aha. I remember listening in on one of their conversations by chance. They were talking about grandma getting prepared for her funeral. Wow. She had already bought a casket and she called it her cute funeral box. Wow. Okay. It waited for its time in the closet, patiently. It was black, upholstered with meat colored material on the inside. I saw it when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive. Only all the photos were gone. Glass covered pictures with gray faces of my. Nowadays, rumbling doors and witty comebacks were an everyday occurrence. But Olia always covers her ears whenever she hears something like, "What's the point in all this?" through the wall. "It's all for your sake," Dad would reply, "for the sake of our family." I would always court every sound in fear of hearing the most dreaded, the deadliest word that started with a D. Aha. DIVD. Or this is O for divorce or divided, something like that. I don't even want to finish it. It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken into two different families. Olia. Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an owl on my window. Dad, you and your owl talk again? Olia, you said you believed me just yesterday. Dad, has anybody seen my car keys? I remember leaving them on the on a windowsill. Mom, right. Maybe you did, and maybe not. You are a grown man, a father of two, and still, Dad, Karina, please stop. Just let me get ready in peace. Mom, your keys are in the basket, near the phone. Dad, well, thank you very much. Dad, Anton, stop making a martyr out of yourself and finish eating already. Olia, and the owl? Dad, there was no owl. Olia, but there was one. It had giant glowing eyes. Olia sprang up from the chair and placed her hands on her little face, imitating a pair of eyes with her fingers, the size of an apple each. That last year you had. Wait. Last year you had Popeye in your closet, and now this owl? Why there's underline for the word Popeye? Okay. Olia, but I saw it. Olia finished her gaze back and forth from Dad to Mom to me, but couldn't find any support. Dad, have you thought about befriending it? You know, like feeding it with imaginary mice? Mom, don't bully our girl. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's still little. Olia pouted her lips in rebellion and rushed into the hallway. The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Mom gave Dad a strict look. Oh, that look in her eyes. It's so uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Dad just snorted in reply and left. Okay. Ringing with the key he just found. A minute had passed and the theme song from The Little Mermaid echoed through the house. It was stored on incredibly worn out cassette tape, which Dad already had to glue together once. It's so easy to fix objects, but gluing them back together, for example, how do you fix a relationship? Well, I moved to the living room and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. Ollie had trouble sleeping ever since we moved to this house. She would toss and turn or curl up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump up in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped to take her mind off all the troubles we had with the move and our parents. Oh. And then Olya said she saw that giant flying monster outside her window. She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of those ridiculous fears. Olya refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. After tonight, I was unsure what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be infectious? Just last night I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking of what to expect in my new school. There were a couple of days left before the beginning of new term. My imagination drew long, twisting hallways that led to a classroom full of kids. But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures, cut out using a template. Circular holes gapped in the middle of their faces, and pairs of eyes blinked inside those holes. It was as if some completely different creature were looking at me from behind the flat black silhouettes. Their cruel glares, filled with icy sneers, made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Would they hang up on me and beat me down, stomp on me with their blooded shoes? The damn school can burn all for all I care. Okay. I just wished for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what. I didn't want to go there that badly. I didn't want to see people who are just itching to smack me on the head, tripping me up. Think of a new offensive name for me, worse than the previous one. I felt like the glasses I wore made me an outside or some sort of monster. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the wall. Lots of stuff to read. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Olia begged me to hang them. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. The small circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagined mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You have got the wrong number," or "Anton is not around." Anton is not around. I imagined my future classmates lying in their beds, just like me, listening to the howls of invincible werewolves outside their windows. Okay. Maybe my new classmates will like me after that. But who would ever like a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mom. The house creaked, pressed by the wind. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbor's drill, mumbled with a TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though I can't really call it new, was completely different. It was silent and easy, going during the day. Its shadow lay dormant in the corners, on the closet cobwebs, and under the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner, almost as if the old photo of my deceased family with their ashen eyes were hanging on the wall in a place of my drawings. The floor was squeaking. Rusty drains were moaning. The attic was occupied by noisy drafts. One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. And then I realized I was in fact hearing music. It was already playing for a good while. Somewhere at the edge of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed in with the sound of the wind, of the creaking old house, and my thoughts too. I stood up and rushed into the window. I wanted to reassure myself that this music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. It's not like someone is playing it there amidst the cold, snowy night, right? Whoa. Okay. So the game freedom as to which or what we should check. Oh. Someone was dancing in the field. Black silhouettes I could barely make out, with the dark forest as their backdrop. They jumped around, bathed in moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolled around and crawled on all fours. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind, but these were clearly not wolves. I thought I missed something. They stood upright at times, circled around holding hands and whipping up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment and then coming back. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in the starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. Suddenly, oh, the music has stopped. I like that part. Along with the snow, give you some feeling of 3D. The dancing shadows froze in place, and I could swear pierced me with their eyes. One of the silhouettes immediately parted from the bizarre shadow carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps. Oh! It glided on the squeaky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. My heart was jumping around like the bird inside a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back toward the bed. They saw me. A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted guests move and scrap around, looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guests should be at the front door. I jumped into the bed and covered myself with the blanket as if it could protect me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remembered the funeral, my grandpa lying there, hands crossed on her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a thin doll. What the funeral has to do with what's going on now? Okay. Ants running up and down the legs of chairs that held my grandmother's casket. I imagined those little creatures climbing up her head and pulling up her eyelid with their tiny legs. Alright, then her wrinkling eyeballs would once again move inside their socket and she would be able to see her grandchildren. I was chanting the spell she taught me through the whole procedure. And now, lying under the blanket and listening to squeaks and howls, I was repeating the same words. Anton, on the island of Boyan, underneath the blemished sun, in the sea of color blue, stands a cabin made of wood. They lay lard and ashen hair for the spawn from devil's lair, to feast and always leave alone. God's faithful servant named Anton. Evil leaves this house must. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Bizarre sound has disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from under the blanket and saw curtains weaving around like hangmen. And then the night dosed me with a new portion of boiling terror. The sound scratched at my eardrum. In reality, something or someone were scratching at the front door. What hurriedly clawing at wood, demanding to be let in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the forest intently as if he was looking for someone. Anton, ashes to ashes. Oh, someone get or something get. Anton, dust to dust. I hugged my knees, placing my chin between them, and drilled the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the might of darkness. And then... oh, the doorknob twisted slightly. Then it turned halfway, once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted once more and then started clicking violently. My jaw cramped from fear. My wet fingers clutched the blanket. The door creaked and opened. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains. Now you see, the door was wide open. The darkness writhed inside the carnivorous mouth of a doorway. Oh, Tony. It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and squeaking with rusty hinges. I was trembling. What's ensnared? I don't know what it is. By the web of darkness that hung in the corners of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out of the gaping black hole. Tony. My abdomen tightened and my chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me, "Honey, you sleep?" My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. I almost screamed from relief. "Anton, Olia, I'm not sleeping. Did something happen?" Olia forward and stuck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry. Olia, it's there again, staring at me. Shoo her away, Tony, please. I'm so scared. The fear that was tormenting me just a minute ago crawled away and hit somewhere in my stomach. I needed to calm Olya down. Anton, it was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's going to harm you. Olya sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me. But was I sure myself? Anton, I have an idea. Let's go to your room and watch the video. Sleeping Beauty, for example. You like that cartoon, don't you? Olya, why does Sleeping Beauty have a prince and I have this scary bird? That question took me by surprise. Anton, alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thought became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? What studied me with its eyes while dancing feverishly under the moon? The darkness was clinging to the window, and it couldn't be fooled by Grandma's old chintz. It couldn't be satisfied with a feast of lard and long ashen hair. Olya, Tony, you coming? Anton, yes, yes, just a moment. Oh! That was good. Oh, so this is a dream? Nice. Ah, okay, that's why I didn't want to laugh at Olya and her owl in the morning. Anton, who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here. So persistent. I felt extremely unsettled just from a silly thought that our morning kiss could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet, under the table, behind the curtain, where Olya always hides. Mom, Tony, come here. I felt like kettle bells were tied to my feet, but still dragged them toward the hallway. Oh, a couple of policemen towered over me in the doorway. They smelled like frost and worry. My mom always winced and grumbled at the moment she saw patrol cars. Worse than bandits. Or wait. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused. Anton, hello? The senior officer, who wore a grim expression, nodded. Mom, a boy had gone missing yesterday. His name's Vova. Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held out a photograph to me. Interesting. There was a ginger boy around the age of elementary school, pictured with a wool carpet at the backdrop. He had a disturbed cat in his hand and wore a wide smile. Anton, no, I haven't. Policeman, are you sure? Look closely. Anton, where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house. Policeman, well, maybe you have seen him from the window? Mom, that's right. Your windows look straight at the forest, don't they? The window. Anton, no, I haven't seen anything. So what he's relating what could be the animal thinking to the kids or the missing kid? Okay. Policeman. I see. He sounded tired, but his stare, long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwittingly under the weight of guilt, which is his giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway, stairway, and the cracks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some reason. Policeman, how do you like your new place, by the way? Getting used to it? Bit by bit. Just our little daughter misses the city a lot. Policeman, misses the city? Ah. Have the locals been treating you well? Mom, yes, everything is alright. Thank you. The policeman pierced through me one more time with his grey eyes. My head started spinning. Anton, can I help you somehow? I asked that in a shaky voice, look like a polite boy, and to end this unpleasant conversation sooner. Policeman, now that I think about it, you look just like one of my nephews, little fella. But his name is Tony? Actually, Tony, not Anton, as a nickname, I guess. He's a witty boy around your age. We are the same type of goggles. Haha. Always engrossed in reading those mystery novels. Told me he wants to enroll in police school when his family visited this summer. Wanted to help other people, just like me, see? I felt uncomfortable, as if a distant relative and not a police officer stood before me. Policeman, you know what? Little boys like you should stay at home, steer away from trouble. The times have changed so much. Mom interjected in cold voice. You don't say. Policeman, well then. What grade are you in, Tony boy? Anton, 6. Policeman, have you made any friends here so far? Anton, not yet. I'll be going to school for the first time after the break. Policeman, then I will leave you my number just in case. Call me if you have any new info. These men were gone along with their shadows, the smell of sheep cologne and the photo of the smiling boy. His face still stood before my eyes. I wondered what it was like for him, being all alone there. For some reason I thought of the forest, swaying in the wind. What did his poor parents feel? And what would my parents do if I would gone missing? Would they cry and trash around hysterically? Or would they accuse each other like they always do and forget about me eventually? Anton, Mom, this Vova, did he go missing in our forest? Mom, seems like it, poor child. I looked out the window at the road. The police USG drove off toward the village. So there is Biba or Snake and UAZ. Okay. The officer's nephew came to mind when I was splitting off old paint from the windowsill. I remember all the teenager mystery novels from the Black Kitty series I have read this summer. Like it. You average boys and girls investigated all sorts of mysteries there. They look for clues, spied on suspicious people, and after a set of amazing adventures, bam, solved any complicated case. Alright, I'm gonna end this video here. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in next video. We'll continue, playing this prologue. Yeah, see you there. Stay safe.